An explosive report exposes how far government officials have gone to hide incriminating evidence relating to COVID. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Hey, remember COVID? Well, the government sure hopes you've kind of forgotten. Let bygones be bygones. Don't worry about questionable assaults on civil liberties and bad political activism disguised as the science. Well, some people refuse to forget. The Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic released this damning report about how far the government went to cover up the facts about COVID. It involves the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, a government agency responsible for biomedical and public health research. After a lot of denials and hand-waving, it eventually came out that the NIH was funding EcoHealth Alliance, which was conducting gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, the lab suspected of being ground zero for COVID. We've known about that for a while now. What this new report shows is just how far the NIH went to cover it up. Most of it involves NIH official David Morens, a senior advisor to Anthony Fauci. The subcommittee determined that Morens was undermining the operations of the U.S. government, unlawfully deleting federal COVID-19 records and using a personal email to avoid the Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA, and repeatedly acting unbecoming of a federal employee. That's crazy. Unbecoming of a federal employee? TSA agents are federal employees. How bad do you have to be worse than a TSA agent? Earlier this month, the subcommittee revealed emails of Morens repeatedly instructing people to send messages to his private Gmail account specifically to dodge FOIA requests. The only way that could be shadier is if his personal email account was "we done goofed, so burn the evidence" at hotmail.com. I'm not even exaggerating that much. Morens didn't just resort to using private emails. According to his own emails, the NIH's own FOIA office taught Morens how to make emails disappear. To be 100% certain, Morens also checked with IT to make sure that he could communicate safely through Gmail. Wow, getting IT and the FOIA office to help you skirt the law? That's government for you. He also was in close contact with Dr. Peter Daszak, head of the EcoHealth Alliance and the guy doing the coronavirus research. You may remember he was one of the earliest and loudest experts saying COVID definitely had a natural origin, and it's crazy to talk about a lab leak. Morens was warning him about Congress asking too many inconvenient questions. He also made a note to delete all of Daszak's emails and others relating to the origins of COVID. He also reminded Dr. Daszak that they're smart enough to never leave behind smoking guns, and they delete them whenever they're found. And again, all of this was specifically to avoid the Freedom of Information Act. Of course, all this completely contradicts Morens' closed-door testimony in January, when he said he didn't delete COVID-related records nor conduct official business through his personal emails. So, how does Morens explain himself? He now claims that he couldn't recall if he deleted COVID records. So I guess he just forgot writing that email saying, "delete all those emails." Morens also argued that using Gmail accounts wasn't to avoid FOIA, it was just used for personal matters.
The context is that this Gmail communication thing was set up purely to deal with personal things that were not government business. I don't consider that telling them don't send me things because they could get FOIA'd is intentionally avoiding FOIA, because those are personal things.
Dr. Morens, did you ever conduct official business via your personal email?
Well, I didn't do anything that I thought was official business. I understand now that there is some discrepancy between what I thought and what y'all may think about what's official business.
He literally wrote an email saying, "we have to keep all communications like this on private emails so that it can't be retrieved via a FOIA." I guess he forgot that. Who can keep track of all those email accounts? It's way easier to just stick with one. Specifically, "we done goofed, so burn the evidence" at hotmail.com. But it's not just Morens who was acting awfully sus. The big guy himself might be implicated. It seems Fauci may have also sought to avoid FOIA requests by using private emails. Morens' emails show that people can access Fauci through a secret back channel. and that Fauci is too smart to let colleagues send him stuff that could cause trouble. Makes sense, Fauci would be smart. He is the science, after all, and the science is never wrong, except all those times it is, repeatedly. So smart. But don't worry, all this talk about his secret back channel is just a joke.
All these terms like secret back channel and the other one you mentioned were just jokes. They were just, jokes that I made in dealing with Peter because he was under death threats and was very depressed. And
yeah, jokes. Who doesn't remember that classic George Carlin routine, the 7 words you can never say in an email, or else you have to delete them through a secret back channel? Hilarious. So Morens and Fauci seem to be quite good at evading public scrutiny. Apparently, they also set an example, because another batch of subpoenaed emails show that NIH officials may have also opened encrypted Proton Mail accounts and intentionally misspelled words to evade keyword searches. For example, this email from an NIH official omitted the O in EcoHealth. Ingenious! Surely no one, and certainly not a congressional committee, would ever figure that out and put it in a report. But get this. You remember how I said the NIH's FOIA office, the very thing that's supposed to promote transparency, taught Morens how to make emails disappear? Well, this email revealed that the NIH's Office of General Counsel told the FOIA office not to release anything having to do with EcoHealth and the Wuhan Institute of Virology. What a fun way to protect yourself from your mistakes and to interpret the Freedom of Information Act. Government officials trying to find ways of hiding information from the public is the kind of behavior I'd expect from authoritarian governments like China. But this may be just the tip of the iceberg. The Congressional Subcommittee issued a subpoena for documents from Morens, and the conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch is suing to get more emails as well. As of right now, Morens is currently on administrative leave from the NIH. He will publicly testify next week on June 3rd, so stay tuned. Hopefully, he won't have forgotten anything. And unlike U.S. government health officials, if you subpoenaed America Uncovered, you'd find that we're no nonsense. So why not subscribe and support America Uncovered? All it takes is $1 an episode on the crowdfunding website patreon.com/America Uncovered. I usually make about 12 episodes a month, but if that's too much for you, you can always set a monthly limit. You can help me continue to uncover America for just $1 a month. And as a thank you, I'll respond to one of your questions or comments. Today's comes from Michael G. Sauer. I would absolutely love to see you guys performing an interview with Texas Senator Dan Crenshaw. Feel like you guys would have a lot to talk about when it comes to the border. Michael, it would be cool to talk to Senator Crenshaw. I haven't done too many interviews on this show, though a few years ago I actually interviewed James Lindsay. It was depressing. I'll leave a link to that episode below. But this is a great question. Would all of you watching like to see me do more interviews on the show? If so, who would you like to see? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your support, Michael. Thank you for watching. Hit that orange button to support the show on Patreon. And if you didn't know, I also talk about philosophy through the lens of gaming on my new show, Deep Thoughts While Gaming. The latest is about why people who know the least know it the loudest, as you can see in any online multiplayer game of Halo. Click here and let me know what you think. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.